Alright, so I'm ready to install this again, permanently, hopefully. Wish me luck. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm gonna have to take it all apart again. Alright. I want to mount this piece up, but I need to address this first. Alright, here we go again. Said I wasn't going to get the milling machine out, but fucking Chinese fucking drill bits and 2 dead batteries in the drill. Might as well fire up the milling machine, which I should have just did in the first place. Sometimes trying to save time just ends up costing you in the long run. Let's just drop this down, get this aligned. So what's nice about a milling machine, I can just make those surfaces better. Some lube on there. Holy shit, I need to lay off the fucking liquor. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I spent too much time machining a notch in there without pulling my head out of my ass to realize that's where the transfer case bolt goes to, and it's still not going to work like that, and it's not going to work like this at all. I need to fucking make a little hump there so my transmission bushing like that can go up and around and leave that bolt free to access. Fuck me. Time to shut her down. Well, actually, no, I still got lots to do. Let's get this plate mounted up anyways. And then lift that transfer case up and see if that's gonna fit, eh? Wouldn't that be something? Go through all this trouble, do all this work, and then the fucking transmission shaft is too long or too short or something. Yeah, knowing my luck, that's probably what would fucking happen, because this part of the project just becoming a shit show. So I was a little concerned about this. I just got a straight edge going across to see whereabouts roughly the transmission cross member is going to go, but I'll have to figure out my degree of my driveline after I get the transfer case up. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. This is the moment where you take a deep breath, fart, and lift her up into place. Just turning it by hand doesn't sound like the speed sensor's rubbing. That's a good sign. It might be in the clear. Who knows? We'll find out once we fire it up. She's up there now. I'm gonna grab my angle finder and just take a measurement. See what we're up against. give or take about 7 degrees. Trying to go off this flange here, trying to look at a measurement. It's 3.7 degrees. I'm gonna have to briefly touch up on driveline angles, but I think with the double cardon shaft, you really want close to 0 degrees. Driveline's lining up for the less vibration. I'm gonna have to double check on that. So this axle isn't staying in. This is the Dana 35, and it's set at roughly 7 degrees. So if I set this at 7 degrees, when I put in the new axle, I'm gonna have adjustable control arms, so I'm gonna have to set that up so that the rear differential is gonna have to match the angle off this as close as possible, and then get a new drive shaft made. But for right now, I need to go get cleaned up, heading out to a pub tonight in an hour and a half. Need to feed Tomcat, probably wants to go back outside. And we'll plug away at this again tomorrow. So I just came out to the garage today for a few hours. You guys wouldn't know this video. These videos take like over time. So I work on things for a while, and I get pissed off, and then, you know, I go do something else, and I research, and I had to confirm on my driveline angles that you want really your opinion and your output to have matching angles. So if it's 7 degrees pointing up, you'd want the top one 7 degrees going down, so your drive shaft's perfectly in line. I think the misalignment is like 3 degrees, so you got to be pretty close. Otherwise, you have driveline vibration. There's a lot of things that people encounter when they do a lift kit. This is one of the things why they do the drop kit. When you do a lift kit, they try to keep that driveline angle as much as possible. Sometimes you need to redo it. But one thing I want to point out is, since I'm on the topic of ranting about companies, remember the motor mounts from Novak Conversions? So when I got them, you can see down there, I got a bolt in there, and I had to weld the key stock on it. Funny enough, I thought that was kind of odd, the design, but I didn't know at the time when I did it, because I have no experience with the LS engine, so I didn't know if, you know, I have a cast block, if it's, you know, different from an aluminum. You know, there's some variances, but I want to point something out here. So I just want to cover up the username right there to protect his identity. But he says, when I was watching your video, I noticed we got shipped 2 different setups. You have just a bolt, and they sent me a carriage bolt. Possibly they changed their design or something. Then he sends me a picture right down there, and I reply, carriage bolt would have made sense. Not sure why they sent me bolts. So this is indeed what I'm talking about. If you were supposed to include carriage bolts with the kit, why the fuck did you send bolts out? This is what I'm all getting back to. Fuck ups like this and the rework you got to do to make it work, because once you're fucking balls deep in a project, you know, if it's your daily driver, for example, and you encounter something like this, you're fucked. You are really fucked unless you have the skills to make something fucking work. And like I said in the last video, you should be able to charge back the companies for your time. Of course, you could always file a lawsuit and sue them, small claims court, but I think people need to get together and maybe try to enforce something. I don't know, maybe like a class action lawsuit. I don't know what the fuck, but shit like this is getting out of hand. And I don't know about you guys, but if I experience it quite a bit in my build, I'm sure everybody else is experiencing quite a bit of fucking garbage too. So this energy suspension bushing is actually for a 2-wheel drive 4L60, but I'm gonna repurpose it for what I'm gonna need it for. So what I need to do is raise it up about an inch and have a flat bar across. And then I need to make some spacers because we got these humps here, that's probably gonna work out pretty good, because through the mount here, between the mount and here, once it's done, adding spacers will be able to fine tune your angle. All right, because right now I only got my Dana 35 in there, so I'm really gonna go up to pinion angle of 7 degrees roughly on there. So the TMR Customs transmission support, well, it's gonna be fitted in place for that angle right now. So this will help me fine tune it along with the adjustable control arms I hope to get for the 8.8 to make it work. So that's where I'm gonna be. Gonna cut a couple of 1-inch spacers that we're gonna weld up, and then flat bar across, and once we're done I'm gonna cut the center section out, throw it back in the mill to machine the holes, and we should be good to go. Been in the garage balls deep, but I hear the wind blowing.
No, Daddy, no, the storm is coming. The tornado is on its way, batten down the hatches.
Just did a rough cleanup, gonna fire up the milling machine, mill some holes. Better throw some spray lube on there. Mill's obviously hollow in the center, that shut me down. Guess I gotta punch a hole through it after all. I looked, I don't have another one that'll go right through, damn it. Knock at least a 1/4 inch hole in there. I have to flip this one around. See if I can get it from the back side. Cut her nice and slow. Put some more lube on her. I'm almost through. Vibration's knocking everything down. So that's what I got in the end. I don't have matching bolts. Couldn't find two that are matching, but you kind of get the gist of the idea. I got the spacers put in there. The energy bushing or energy suspension kit came with an extra plate for whatever reason. I didn't bother looking at the instructions because I'm not using it for the purpose it's intended. So if this transmission bushing fails, it's because I'm not using it for the purpose it's intended to be used for, and I accept full responsibility for that. But we got welded both sides. I did think about maybe trailing a gusset across, but that's too over engineering. So let's just throw this quickly on the back of the transfer case and see how it's going to fit up. So there it is in its mounting place. Now if I put my rod straight across the frame, we still have to get it positioned. You can see it's hanging down, but the factory mount hung down quite a bit as well too. So I'm probably gonna have to lower it down another inch yet, which means the TMR Customs frame rail or transmission support I built, I'm probably gonna have to weld some angle iron coming down and gusset it across to the frame here, right? Because that bracket's gonna have to come down lower, and then probably gonna have to either modify the factory skid plate to put that back up if I can still utilize it, or completely build a new one. But I will have to determine that in the future. That's all painted up. I'm gonna end this video early, only because we're starting on something fresh tomorrow, and that something fresh is gonna take up like a whole nother series. So I don't want to make the video fucking 30 minutes long. So let's have a beer, get this over with, so we can all fuck off and do something productive. Let's have a fucking James ready. Haven't had one of those in a while. Alright, well this is a pretty short video, but I want to move on to the transmission support bracket and start talking about the driveline angles, and I want to start fresh when I start working on that instead of tying everything together. On that Facebook post that I posted a while ago, actually that was current where I was working on this, because there's about a 2-month gap, and I don't know if somebody from Advanced Adapters commented on it or works there or whatever, but it made it sound like as if they did work there. Anyways, motherfucking beer time. And they were saying that there's 3 different adapters, I guess, and I stated that it would be nice if you had them listed so that a person could like measure it. So he sent me the sheet that does. It's the same sheet I got, but that's the sheet that you get after you buy it. I didn't actually buy that kit from Advanced Adapters. I ordered it through Summit Racing because I had to get some other parts too, so to save on shipping when it comes to Canada. And I understand there's differences in vehicles because, like in the Jeeps, for example, you got half years. I mean, there's alternators. I don't know how many different types there are for the Jeep. But when you design something, this is my opinion, of course, when a person goes to design something and they're going to produce it for a product, you should start looking at all the variances. So if you're doing something and all of a sudden a problem comes up, and it's like, okay, well, there's a certain limited run of these that you have to modify the part, then everything should be listed on the website before you go to buy it. Because the kit was for a 4L60E transmission, exactly what I did. I bought the 700 R4 adapter so I could do the setup I wanted. And I shouldn't have had to gone through all this trouble. If there's 3 different reluctor rings, there should be a measurement on the page with that product that says if your tail shaft is this size, you need this ring. If you know, whatever, if something else is different, you need to do some measurements, because people who are buying these kits are buying these parts ahead of time so that they have them. So it's not like you're all of a sudden you're just gonna pull it off and then you're just gonna stick it on. Most people have been sitting on these parts probably for a while, gathering parts for the swap. So this is something important. I think it's in my opinion, in the aftermarket world, there has to be more quality control over everything. Because like I said before, if you guys been watching my channel from the very beginning, I've experienced so much bullshit with products that I bought that are supposed to be designed and you had to modify it. And not like simple mods either. Like basically you might as well just reinvented the fucking part. And I don't know, I'm at my fucking limit when it comes to that stuff. I've never experienced so much hassle in my life. I don't know if it's just with the Jeep community or if it's all across the board. You guys can answer in the comments below if you made it this far. Anyways, motherfucking beer time. I'm gonna shut her down. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them below. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.